Good afternoon, everyone. I am in conversation with Anthony Wong. Anthony is going to take us through his life journey, especially when he was growing up, his childhood, and it's a part of the project, which is about nostalgia, as Anthony himself mentioned before we started this conversation. So thank you so much for joining me today, Anthony.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Anthony. So like I mentioned, can we start by talking about your childhood? What are some of the memories that you have in terms of where you grew up? What was your neighborhood like? What were the different kind of activities that you did? How far was your school from where you lived? Any kind of distinctive memories that come back to you now?
Okay. As a child, I grew up in an area called Tiong Road, which is more well known as Tiong Bahru. Tiong Road today is best known as Tiong Bahru Plaza.
So that was the area where you lived?
That was the area where I lived.
And Tiong Bahru Plaza is like a shopping mall?
It's now a shopping mall.
Okay.
Yeah, so we grew up in that area, and childhood days are spent hanging around Tiong Bahru area, playing in the fields, roaming the streets, basketball, flying kites, catch spider. When it rains, we try and catch guppies in the drains and things like that. A lot of self-invented games, because in those days we have no mobile phone, no play gadget. Everything is just imaginative. Oh, we did a lot of rounders, where you take a ball and bat and you have 4 bases. We did a lot of hopscotch, skipping ropes, shuttlecock, things like that. Very participative with team people. Yeah.
And did you live in a shop house, or did you live in like a building, or what kind of a home did you have, and how many people lived with you in that home?
We live in a block. It's quite modern, I must say, for in those days. Some of the blocks are still in existence today along Tiong Bahru. They're 4-story buildings. We live on the ground floor, and a 3-bedroom with a reasonable size living room. My grandparents, both of them, and my 4 uncles has 1 bedroom. My mom and dad and my 2 siblings, 5 of us, is in the other bedroom. And the 3rd bedroom for income is rented out. Yeah, and then all of us, let me just quick count, 4, 5, 6, 11, 13 of us shares 1 bathroom. So, yeah, but we don't seem to be getting into each other's way in those days.
You manage, because when you don't have, that's the only thing you know, then you adapt.
Yeah.
And then there's no fuss about, oh my God, I need, which today we're privileged.
Overprivileged.
Overprivileged, yes, absolutely.
The same basin where you used to brush your teeth and wash your face is the same basin that you wash vegetables and you wash your side dishes for after lunch and dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a little bit more, I think, if I can jog your memory on, you mentioned that there were fields in your neighborhood, and you, from the storm drains, you used to get guppies, little fish. Yeah. What are some of the other, like your street, how many of such buildings existed at the time?
Oh, there's quite a lot. I must say there must be like the whole stretch from Tiong Bahru Plaza to the other end of Tiong Bahru. There must be like 20 over blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big area.
And were there only one community, or there were other communities also living in that area? As in, were there only Chinese, or?
Oh, we have a mix of people.
Mix of people.
But I think predominantly in Tiong Bahru area is predominantly Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah. These are the days before HDB was built.
Okay.
Because HDB was built with objective of providing affordable housing and also to rally the 4 races to live together. The community is mainly predominantly Chinese, though we do have a spectrum of non-Chinese within that area.
Okay. What is the one impact that completely imprinted in your mind that you still remember today of those days? Was it something to do with your school, or was it something to do with the kind of friends that you had, or anything that you can remember which had a lasting impression on you?
In those days, everyone lives very close to each other. So I live with my paternal grandparents, and my maternal grandparents are really not too far away. They would be where Tiong Bahru Bakery is now today. So from where we were to walk to their place, it takes about 15-20 minutes.
And they lived in a similar housing like you did?
Similar style housing.
Okay.
Yeah, so my paternal grandparents work a lot. My parents work a lot, and my maternal parents don't. So we spend a lot of time traveling over there. Then my maternal grandparents will look after us. And the evening after work, my parents will go and pick us up and bring us home. So we have lots of free time discovering the entire Tiong Bahru and Boon Chong Road area precinct. And one of the most interesting places about Tiong Bahru is the market. So we spend a lot of time growing up the market. Or my maternal grandmother will say, "Oh, I run out of onions. Go and buy me some onions, or buy me
Can
some
you
more
describe
noodles."
the market a little bit from your memory?
Okay.
Is it the same, or is it very
Oh,
different?
it's totally different.
Different.
Today is, I believe, is a 3-story building with the market on the first level, and then the food court on the level 2, and then the car parks on the 3rd level. In those days, one level. Then there is a building which is a proper building where all the wet stuff are, and then out like meat and seafood, and then outside the building, which is on a tin shed, is where all the dry goods are. One section is all the food stalls. You can get your noodles, you can get your and and just next to it, there's a big like an open playground where kids hang around, play basketball. And throughout the years, different times of the year, they have operas. And then
And where would the operas be?
at the open area. So it's on the makeshift stage. And then in the night, the operas will start around 8 o'clock and last till midnight. But the best part is throughout the whole evening, there'll be a lot of makeshift food stalls. So we will have plenty of food to eat.
Okay, so food was always an important factor.
Food is always an important factor.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the opera. So these would be like a traveling operas, or community people would...
I think there are a traveling troupe that goes through different part of the island to perform.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout
And
different...
and what was the language in which they performed?
I predominantly remember Cantonese, because we
Okay.
are Cantonese, but I'm sure at a certain time of the year they would have it in Hokkien or operas.
Okay, and so there would have been a lot of their costumes would have
Yeah,
been
it's
very,
elaborate, a
colorful
lot
and
of embroidery,
elaborate.
colorful.
Yeah. And music. And generally, what was the theme of these operas?
Operas, I think they fall into a few categories. One category is usually a love story, like the Butterfly Lovers,
Yeah.
Chinese Butterfly Lovers. There's one genre that's always about love. And then another genre is stories taken up from Chinese mythological stories. Then another one would be, there's a lot of fighting, historical stories like the female generals of the Yang family, things like that.
This Lumina Vitae episode is brought to you by the Bloom Fund, managed by TRCL. The Bloom Fund is an intergenerational initiative dedicated to bridging generations and fostering meaningful connections between seniors and younger communities. By promoting shared experiences and mutual understanding, the fund aims to reduce social isolation, cultivate empathy, and build a more inclusive and compassionate society. Through strategic partnerships and ongoing research, the Bloom Fund continues to champion innovative arts programs that empower individuals to grow together across ages. So you must have, watching all of these different types and different genres, you must have picked up a lot about the history, right? Different stories.
I enjoy
yeah.
Cantonese opera very much. Unfortunately, today you don't get a lot in Singapore. And so I look forward as and when a good production comes from China or Hong Kong when they perform at the Esplanade. And if the time permits, I'll definitely go watch it.
So that is something that left a lasting impression on you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you cultivated an interest in operas, which even today you are fascinated with. And that's the reason why you go whenever you're
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to get an opportunity. And what is it that you do, Anthony?
I run restaurants. I run a food and beverage and catering company.
What
Yeah.
is the name of your
Our
company?
company is called Creative Eateries Private Limited, and we are better known by our restaurants. We have different genre of restaurants. We have Western restaurants from Rosa Steakhouse at Vivo City, Ning Cook House in Ning Mall, and we also have Japanese DIY restaurant like Jimaya Yakiniku or Sukiya Hot Pot. Yeah, and we do a catering company called Shok Kitchen where we do bento boxes, large-scale caterings, weddings, yeah, etc.
So I was not too far off when I said that outside of opera, food plays a very important role
Yeah,
in
food has
life.
been a big part of my life.
Yeah, because that's what you have then taken on to make it into a full-fledged business.
Yes.
And how many years since Creative Eateries?
We started in 1992, so today is 2025, so that would be 33 years.
That is
all in all.
incredible.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And obviously, from when you started in 1992 to what it has become today,
Oh, it's become a monster now.
it's become a monster.
It's a monster.
So I'm curious to know, in 1992, when you started the business, what did you start with? Did you start with a restaurant and what kind of food? Just a little
This is going to
insight.
last a long time. Okay, my first restaurant is Hot Stone Steak and Seafood Restaurants, where you heat up a slab of volcanic rock, and then you put raw meat in it, and the customers get to cook it themselves, and you dip your cooked meat or seafood into dipping sauce.
So that was your first
That was my first restaurant. Yeah.
restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
And now,
And then we went on to Thai, Italian, Japanese, and then catering. And then the opportunities keep coming, and the ideas keep rolling, and the energy just keep on coming. And then before you know it,
it's a
it's
monster.
35 years, and it's a monster now.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Welcome.
Before I leave you, and I asked Jake the same question, what do you think the younger generation should take away from these conversations? Because you have seen Singapore very different from what it is today.
Yeah, indeed. I wouldn't want to go back to what it was in 1960. It's a different era. I don't think my kids or my grandchildren could live the way we lived in 1960 unless a situation makes it inevitable. One thing about Singapore in hindsight over the last 60 years is that change is constant, and it is a change that we have made over the years that made us so relevant today. And it's good to have something to reflect upon in the past, but I think it should be just a distant memory.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be something that you linger on for too long,
Yeah.
because the world is changing faster than ever.
Yeah.
So it is better to have a forward posture than have a position where you lean on to the past for too long.
Yeah.
Lately, I've always have this sentiment that in the next 5 to 10 years, Singapore is going to change beyond your imagination or even beyond your recognition. And it is changing. For someone who has gotten used to change, I feel that sometimes I'm a bit overwhelmed and I'm a bit lost with all the new things that's popping up around here. So we find comfort in old school friends, classmates, fellow church friends, where momentarily in this fast-paced world, we get a bit of a taste of the past. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, you're right that there's a lot of change, but I also feel that we should still somewhere at any generation be connected to our roots. And I think that's where these memories that you've been sharing with us help, because a lot of even your immediate family, your children, your grandchildren, will listening to your stories. And I hope you're able to retell the stories like you've been telling me about your past, because there's curiosity, there's amazement that you could actually be living in such a way which is completely unimaginable today. So I think
Okay, yeah. I hope the young generation today is a very different sort of animals.
That's true. But I think also open to understanding the background and
Sure.
open to very receptive, I feel, and very privileged to be able to talk to such lovely people over the past week.
Great.
And have an understanding. And even I am getting educated and starting to learn about so much that existed in Singapore, which me, as someone who's very new to the country, 20 years, but I'm still not, I don't have that kind of knowledge. And so even I feel like the fact that you've shared a part of what Singapore was with me is very informative and gives me a sense of belonging as well. So
That's great.
thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you,
for
Anthony.
inviting me.
My
nice
pleasure.
talking. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.